Super Bowl Sunday is this Sunday, and this is Downright Sports, the Super Bowl edition. I'm Brent Reed. I will be going through today, just going over previewing the Super Bowl in my way, in a very downright sports way. What's going to be different is we're not going to dive in and break down stats and who's going to cover who and Julio's going to put up the. No, we're not going through any of that. What we will discuss is the two teams in the Super Bowl, Patriots versus Atlanta. To me, how boring these two teams are from two different standpoints. We will also dive in the topic segment, basically why Tom Brady on paper is more than likely the best quarterback to ever play the game. Yeah, quite frankly, just based on some of the facts. But let's go into it in what I always call the first segment, and it's the must-know news segment. The must-know news, obviously, is you must know that the New England Patriots, will be facing the Atlanta Falcons this year. The Patriots, who started the season with the first four games without its starting quarterback, Tom Brady, the 39-year-old, the almost 40-year-old starting QB, was suspended due to the Deflategate scenario. Didn't play the first four games. The Patriots went 3-1 without him. He comes back. They only lost another game with him. So they had a spectacular season with him at the helm. Tom missing the first four games through 28 touchdowns, only one interception, and a quarterback rating of 113. It's pretty good. For the Atlanta Falcons, on the other hand, they started out extremely hot. They got the season going early and then hit a rocky spot where they basically started losing a few games here and there. I would guess you would say it's the dog days of the season. This team last year was not as good as they were this year, and they basically, because the Carolina Panthers was bad, they turned it up and took an opportunity. But you'll see, I'm looking here, Atlanta basically lost to Chiefs, Philly, the Chargers, and the Seahawks, and then they lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay, who was very good this year. Those were some decent teams. Those were respectable teams. They beat the teams that they needed to beat. Their big victories this season. I mean, looking at their schedule, I won't lie to you, it was not the strongest of schedules because they had Oakland might have been their biggest win. They beat the defending champion, the Denver Broncos, but they weren't the same type of team. Carolina wasn't any good this year. 49ers was dreadful, and the Saints are the Saints. So they really didn't wow me. Like, oh man, they knocked everybody in the head. It wasn't until the postseason where they beat Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. They didn't beat them. They wiped them off the planet. 44-21. Like, come on, get out of here. And then the Seahawks game was just a mess from beginning to end. They destroyed them. So they're putting up numbers. Matt Ryan had a great year this year. He put up fantastic 38 touchdowns, over almost 5,000 yards passing, but it's 49-44, and he had a QB rating of 117. So his career QB rating is 93. So he surpassed that. He went above his career. Matt Ryan, 31 years old, maybe hitting that stride a lot of guys hit around this time in their careers where they reach that next level, that next pinnacle. But those two teams will face each other in Houston. I don't know why I did that. But they're going to face each other. The first time Atlanta's been in the Super Bowl since 1999. 1998. 9, something like that. 99. I'm right. It's 1999. The 1998 season, 1999 Super Bowl. They faced the Denver Broncos. John Elway's last Super Bowl, goes out, the helicopter, all that nonsense. They win the Super Bowl. Atlanta loses. They haven't been back since. They've changed ownerships. They've gone through Michael Vick. They've gone through being bad. They've gone through, and now they've gone through Rick. God, I can't think of the coach's name. Anyway, That's what's going. That's the must know news. When we come back, the topic of the day: Tom Brady. Downright Sports. This is Downright Sports. We're back, segment number 2. The topic of today will be Tom Brady. Before I dive into it, every time I do a show, I always keep the TV on in the background. I keep ESPN on in the background, or the MLB channel, or some type of sports channel to keep my mind focused on what I'm doing, sports. And I always laugh because ESPN and some of these other channels, and I gotta make this quick. We're gonna go on for a minute. They will lead you to believe that it's about the people. It's about the topics. It's about sports. It's about, we're all intelligent. But I'm watching First Take, and they got the moderator, whomever, the host, whatever you want to call her. Her name is Molly something. She's hot. Like, I'm not trying to be weird. I'm trying to be sexist, but she's hot, and they pull that out. Like, they put that front and center. Like, hey, you be as hot as possible, and they do that with all of them. And they, I talked about this in another show, but HBO did a Brian Gumbel's Real Sports, which does a fantastic job in diving into sports into the core, and they touched on it. They touched on sexism in sports and using your sexuality to get over, and how men don't have to, but the women have to. And the worldwide leader in sports does not have to buy into that. Like, I don't think ESPN should be doing that. Like, I mean, God bless Molly. I'm glad she has a job, but I need to know more. I think I Googled her background. I don't think she has a background in sports. Like some of it is a little too over. Like, say what you will about the WWE, but at least they let you know that that's what it's about. It's a little much. Like, let's tone it down. Like, it's too much. And why now every debate show minus PTI and Around the Horn, you almost have to have, or just some show, you got to have a hot chick on the stage. I mean, I know that's what sells, but what are you selling to your audience? That's all I have to say. Let's go to Tom Brady, who, speaking of hot chicks, has a hot wife, Gisele Bundchen, who makes more money than him, which is awesome. That's one of the reasons why he may be the best ever, because he doesn't have to make any money. He just basically, he makes enough money to pay the water bill. Like, that's his contribution in the household, while Gisele is building another wing or buying their third private jet. On the field stuff, Tom has been, without a doubt, the man. Since I'm not going to say since day one. I think the first year he did enough. He bend don't break kind. First few years Tom played in the league, it was a lot of, all right, Tom, don't lose the game. Keep us in it, keep us in it, keep us in it. The defense ahead, because in the early days of the Patriots, they had a very, very, very good defense. I mean, strong defense. And I'm gonna give you some examples. What I mean, like, Tom, don't bet, just don't break what we got going on, because the first Super Bowl, they're playing the Rams. The Rams score. Tom gets them down the field, but doesn't throw the game-winning touchdown. The kicker comes out. That was always the argument. The first 2 Super Bowls, the kicker, or the first 3 Super Bowls, the kicker saved them. It was always the kicker was saving them every time. It's like, hey, you ain't got to worry about it. The kicker is going to save us. And then I think Tom listened and he had to, but he's never, that was my speaker, don't freak. But I'm looking at his numbers, and he's had a few seasons where he's kind of been, the one season he was spectacular was 2007, when they went undefeated in the regular season. He had Randy Moss. He threw 50 touchdowns, but he's never been like a Peyton Manning or Aaron Rodgers or a Drew Brees, where he's just going to throw 35 to 40 touchdowns a season, and he's just going to keep throwing it and throwing it and throwing it. I don't think he never has to do that, because the team is smart. Now, every great player in the history of sports is made because of their team. Fact. Jordan was great in the beginning, but couldn't do crap until he added Scotty and others. Wayne Gretzky had Messier. Derek Jeter had Rivera, Andy Pettitte, Roger Clemens. The list goes on. Kobe Bryant had Shaq. All you need. Dwayne Wade had Shaq. All you need. LeBron James had Dwayne Wade. So I said all that because there hasn't been a time in history where one guy in any league, maybe Allen Iverson came close, where he took the 76ers to the finals by himself. Allen Iverson scored 30 points that season, and the next person on the team scored 8. He took the team to the championship by himself, won one game, and then lost. So you look at the history of football, and football is the ultimate team sport next to baseball. Those are two sports where you need your team to win, not one guy's carrying nothing. So you look at what he's done, and the biggest comparisons, where he's ranks on the all-time list, and quarterback-wise. I took two categories. I did passing and touchdowns. He is fourth on both. He is fourth, not fifth, not sixth, fourth. He's fourth all-time in passing, fourth all-time in touchdowns. Who he is behind, it's literally the same three people. Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, Drew Brees. Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, Drew Brees. That's the list. That's who he's behind. One is still currently playing. The other two are retired. So, where does he differ from those guys? I'll tell you. The rings. He has the championships. Now, you'll say, well, he's had the same head coach. So did Peyton Manning. When Peyton Manning played for the Colts, Peyton Manning had Tony Dungy for a long time, and they got one Super Bowl out of it, and Dungy said deuces after they won that one. And then they brought in Rope. I don't know the guy's name, it doesn't matter. But they brought him in, they went to a Super Bowl and lost. So Manning, who statistically maybe was one of the best quarterbacks ever, but he's not the ultimate winner, because in anything, whether it's sports, whether it's business, your job is to win. Your job is to be the best. And Tom, out of these guys, have done it. You want to talk Brett Favre? Brett Favre went periods where he couldn't make the playoffs. So he couldn't do that. And then you got Drew Brees in the same category. So then you wrap it back to, well, he's not better than Joe Montana. Okay? Joe Montana went to 4 Super Bowls and won all 4. Joe Montana has he has memorable moments, throwing the catch. The catch wasn't thrown in the Super Bowl. The catch was thrown in the NFC Championship game. Okay, that was against the Cowboys. So where's his memorable moments? Well, where they rank against each other head to head. Okay, fair enough. Tom has more Super Bowl appearances, but they both have 3 MVP awards, Super Bowl MVP awards. Both of them have 3 of them. Both have 2 league MVP awards. And where Montana edges ahead of him a little bit, Montana has never thrown a pick in a Super Bowl. But, with all that said, the game, does that give him the edge? Does that make him better? Because during the regular season, you got to make it. Montana is ranked on the all-time passing, is ranked 17th. On all-time touchdowns, is ranked 16th. So was it the team or was it Montana? Montana did play with one of the greatest wide receivers of all time in Jerry Rice, where Tom Brady only played with Randy Moss for 1 to 2 seasons where they didn't win anything. And yeah, he has Gronkowski, but Gronkowski's only been part of 1 Super Bowl with him. So, Tom has done more. That's the conversation. He's done more with less. Manning had Marvin Harrison. Brett Favre had one of the Sharps. Drew Brees has had guys. But Tom has he's got a guy playing wide receiver that's a former lacrosse player. Like, legit. He never played college football, but he played lacrosse. That's what Tom works with. Tom takes lemons and makes vodka. Like, so that's what he can do. He's just a beast at that. Is he the greatest? I don't know if I can call him the greatest. He's damn sure in the category of the top 2, who do you take over him? Like, that's where the comment, like, he's always had Belichick. Okay. Montana always had Watts. What's your point? You know what I mean? Like, Jordan always had Phil when they were winning. When he, so there's always, somebody's always got somebody. Nobody does it by themselves. A baby's not born for the sure luck of a snap of a finger. We're not plants. It always takes two people to make something click. So, I mean, I think if Tom wins this Super Bowl, I'm going to make my argument here. If Tom Brady wins this Super Bowl, if he wins, he beats the Falcons, and he beats them handily. He can't. The kicker cannot win this game. It can't come down to an interception. They have to score. Like, the over-under, the point spread of this game is New England wins by 3. Like, they're giving 3. That's it. The score has to be 45-25. And then you throw him in that category where now it's him and everybody else. Because throw Unitas out. The only other person I would put in the category, and nobody does, Troy Aikman. He's got 3. Yeah, he played with greats, but he's got 3. And he got 3 early. And he got 3 with the Cowboys. That should make a difference. I think if it wasn't for drugs and concussions, there'd be a whole different squad of questions. Anyway, segment went on a little longer than I thought. The conversation is Tom Brady the best? That was my headline. That was my header. Anyway, we'll be back. I'm going to close the show out with who I think is going to win the game. Check it. Normally, most shows, this segment is considered movies and video games, but it's not today. We basically are going to make this quick. Who will win the Super Bowl? Patriots. Why? You gave Bill Belichick and Tom Brady 2 weeks to prepare for you. Say what you will. Say what all the hoopla. I already said I was going to discuss how boring and lame the Super Bowl is to me. You got Atlanta. There's no sex appeal. Matt Ryan is a good quarterback. Julio Jones is a beast of receiver, but they're still boring. I don't give a damn what you tell me. And then the only storyline here is the Patriots winning the Super Bowl, going on the stage, the confetti's coming down, everybody's ecstatic, everybody's losing their mind, and then Roger Goodell's got to come up on the stage and pass them the trophy after basically telling Robert Kraft, you can suck it, I don't care how close we are. Tom Brady is serving 4 games for doing nothing, and now I have to hand you the trophy. The only thing that can make that good is Belichick just takes the trophy, looks at Roger Goodell, and just drops the mic and says, I'm done, I'm retiring. And Tom Brady says, you know what? I'm good. It takes his hot wife and just makes out in front of Belichick while he eyeballs him. He just looks him in the eyes as they're just making out. And he's like, don't you turn away. This is your punishment. This is yours. Like, that would be the greatest night of TV history, in my opinion. But I think the Patriots win. I think it's more than 3. I think the Patriots win by 10. That's what I believe. I think Atlanta their run is done. I think that the streak of, I think that the NFC South continues to lose. The only team to win out of the NFC South is the Saints, and they haven't done it in a long time. But Carolina is 0-2 in the Super Bowl. Atlanta will soon be 0-2 in the Super Bowl. Oh, forgot about Tampa. So they got 2 Super Bowls, but they've previously have lost 4. So that's what I feel. I think Patriots win. Tom Brady throws 2 touchdowns. They run one in. That's what I'm calling 2 touchdowns thrown from Tom Brady, enough to get him the MVP. Blunt runs one in to the end zone. Atlanta puts up maybe 1 or 2, but maybe 1, and then the defense kind of does some stuff and field goals. I don't know. I'm not calling. Maybe Tom throws up 3. I don't know. I ain't put really a lot of thought into it. I just think Atlanta's going to lose. Anyway, check out the Super Bowl. May do a special Super Bowl show. Who knows? I did a special national championship show that's in the works that will air later this month. So check it out. Thank you for watching. This has been Downright Sports, the Super Bowl. I think I'm going to add some people clapping. That's what we're going to do. We're going to have people clapping. All right. Check it. See ya.